making sure you know how to navigate and maneuver through situations. And even in that situation where there are creative differences, me personally, I always know how to compromise with the talent and then kind of meet them in the middle and still give and still, bring out the product.
At the end of this all, we're going to have to put down a list of classic personal traits of a talent manager.
I was coming to that you need to
we shall do it at the end.
You need to have, at the end.
Yeah, we shall do it at the end because we need to run. And I want to get back to Peter's point. He makes a very valid point. Now, you say that the personality needs to understand that this is an act, which makes it seem musicians are actors. TV personalities are actors. Social media creatives are actors. So how do you drill this in a person's mind if I just want to express, the talent that I have and I don't get that part?
Start from the beginning. How did you, first of all, as a talent manager, how did you get that? How did you recruit that person? Because it's very important. The way you recruit that person, you sat on the table and agreed on certain things. So for me, I think it's the beginning. When you're looking for a TV presenter, because for you as a person, you have envisioned the show you're going to do.
Yep.
And you know the characters you want.
Yeah.
I don't want to point out names, but there are certain people.
Give us names. It's a free space.
There are certain people. Let me give you an example. I have a new guy on the market called Case. Okay. He's doing very well. But some people judge the boy is too hard. But it's just a character. In the most industrialized countries, they will look for that real character in that person. But here, you are going to create. Because you don't have the resources to look for those characters. Let me say, you may identify the character, but you may not have the money to afford that character.
By afford, you mean to build them up?
No, afford it because it has come natural.
Yes, characters. Which, if they are given opportunities and they are put on TV, they will be great hits. But you may not have the money to hire them. But you, as a talent manager, you may be able to create another one who may fit your bill.
I like that. That's actually pretty genius. Let's segue into that, identifying talent. So when a talent manager, starts his work in the business, do you actively go on the prowl? And you were saying it's a bit expensive to find this talent. Do you actively go on the prowl from your experiences, or have you waited for a TV station to host someone and you're like, oh, mumpe? So how do you find your talent?
The act of finding talent is called talent scouting. You can use all platforms. From church, recordings, they normally hang in recording studios, karaoke groups back in the day, dance groups, even on TV. Like for instance, I first identified Spicy Diana on TV.
Nice.
Song on Sanula I was playing on record TV, and I told my madam at home, this chick has talent, this is going to be a hit song, but they are going to confuse her before she makes it. Actually, Spicy Diana credits me for those first. We worked with her for 1.5 years, those first 1 years. The guidance and the advice I gave her is the things she's using right now. I identified her off TV.
I like that.
When Sanula was playing. I saw every records, I knew it was, who's the producer? Fizzo. I called Fizzo. No, actually, I didn't have Fizzo's number. I called Gendo, who is this? Maro. I called Maro because I know Fizzo was Maro's producer. Maro gave me Fizzo's number. Fizzo said, hey, she's my girl, she's with you, but if you want her, let's come and discuss. Then she came, she handed her Spice over to me.
Wow,
so
that's convenient.
there are so many other platforms you can, like for instance, Swans, it can be talent shows. Anywhere you can find talent, it can be anywhere.
Look, wait, hold on. We're going to continue this conversation because I feel like talent scouting is really wide, especially now with the internet, WhatsApp. There's no limit, and we'll definitely have Ivan and Peter's input. We're still here with Emma Carlos as well. Make sure you stay tuned. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back with this conversation, the ups and the downs of talent management in Uganda. A very key and critical conversation, especially if you're an act, or maybe you've just found a little talent in yourself, or you're interested in show business. This is the place you need to be right now. We'll be right back. How are you feeling?
What does it take to change the world? It takes a long chain of resilient men and women, endowed with various skill sets and divergent mindsets, holistically working together to achieve a common goal. It is a synergetic effect of different art forms combining into one to think, design, and create mind-blowing stories. A systematic workflow and processes from department to another. A set of professional tools and elements designed to create and fine-tune. It takes persistence, consistency, and collaboration to tell compelling stories, to evoke emotions, and to change the world. We have designed a one-stopover center online with all the seasoned creatives from all the realms of the film industry. Together, we can. We are the Film Hackers. What does it take to change the world? It takes a long chain of resilient men and women, endowed with various skill sets and divergent mindsets, holistically working together to achieve a common goal. It is a synergetic effect of different art forms combining into one to think, design, and create mind-blowing stories. A systematic workflow and processes from department to another. A set of professional tools and elements designed to create and fine-tune. It takes persistence, consistency, and collaboration to tell compelling stories, to evoke emotions, and to change the world. We have designed a one-stopover center online with all the seasoned creatives from all the realms of the film industry. Together, we can. We are the Film Hackers.
We are here to inspire, to share.
What does it take to change the world?
Give you knowledge on all the things you need if you're trying to make it in this industry, in the film industry. Are you into music? Are you a new talent on your way up? My name is Maritza. Welcome back. This is Film Hackers. We're also live on Net Studio Africa. We're also live on Garage Group. Make sure you share this video and let people know that the conversation that's happening here can definitely help them in their career. Now, before we went for a break, we were talking with our amazing list of panelists. We have Emma Carlos to my left. We have Ivan Chifumba on my right. We have Peter Kafuko on my far right. We're talking the avenues where people find talent. And Emma had just painted a picture for us, like places used to go, karaoke places, or maybe sporting people on TV, like that story you shared with Spice Diana. I want to hear from Ivan. Where are those places that you've found as a talent manager? Where have you found something that that has worked for you?
It's more like online, social media. You go out to events, you go out to shows, karaoke still. Yeah, you find people. But I feel like it's kind of double-sided in a way, or two-tier, because there's a talent manager that seeks out raw talent that's not been developed, right? And then there's a talent manager like Emma who gets sought out because he's built a reputation, so he doesn't even need to look for the talent. They will look for him, and also the talent doesn't have to always be new.
Okay.
It doesn't stop Juliana from reaching out to Emma and saying,
Khalifa was just recommended to me from a TV friend. He said, hey, there's a kid here was a nice jam, Minakona. Yeah, walk it over. I listened to it, I was like, something is here. There's a little bit of God. Then I made my decisions, and we started working.
Wow.
Now he's standing for MP.
you sound disappointed.
No, he's just wasted his talent. But I mean, people have their own choices, but I think he's wasting his talent in politics.
Yeah, so a lot of times actually talent scouting is done by the labels. Through A&R, through A&R and talent. Yeah, so a manager, most times, the talent comes to you. You don't go to them. Most times, if you know what you're doing, if you're reputable in what you're doing, the talent will find you always. Okay. Yeah, so me, personally, I've also kind of created a bubble around me where if you find me, then I need to work with you.
Nice. I like that.
If you just land on my table and then I check you out and you're actually good,
you're in the right place.
Yeah, you're in the right place.
Peter Kafuko, you had a story to share, and I think earlier you touched a bit on it, on how you get someone that's not really talented, and you build them into the act that you need. Tell us about that from the perspective of the talent manager recruiting.
For me, my perception, there's talent everywhere. So there are different avenues. For me, I think everybody who comes to you and they have the ambition and passion, give them an opportunity. If you see that little spark, train them, they will be anything you feel like. For me, I can give you an example of...
What's the spark? Like, what does the spark look like?
In the screen test, I can say spark. Okay. I may see that you are naive, but there's talent.
Is it passion? Is the spark like...
It's an X factor. It's called an X factor.
The X factor. You just have to see it like you see smoke. You can't touch it, but it's there.
I mean, I can't put you with a Nick Naga. Definitely will be the X factor will come out properly.
Another good example about X factor is Azawi came or walked up to Swangs Avenue to sell a song or two, but because Mr. Chaze listened to these demos and there's something he felt, and he said, like, why am I buying these songs? This girl can sing these songs. Why am I buying? So that's that X factor. And if you're trained, if you're seasoned again, you will always see it, and it hits you. You never have to debate about it. It just hits you.
Fresh Kid shocked us all.
Let me give you an example of Khalifa. Khalifa, after receiving his demo, Minaconda, I called him up, he came in. Now, I'd spent the whole night listening to Minaconda. I'd read it ticked.
You had approved.
You had approved. Now, when he walked in, slim guy, fitting shirt, fitting boots, the image, tick. And then we started talking, and I asked him, where did you get the money to shoot Minaconda? He told me, I diverted my school fees, university school fees, to shoot Minaconda. I saw an element of a person who risks. Tick. Shook my hands. Signed.
So elaborate more. So when you find the spark.
Let me give you an example. In 2017, 2018, I can't remember correctly. I was still working with Spark TV. Case comes to me, tells me, I'm just out of university. I'm now a blogger, but I can work. At that time, I told him, we don't have jobs here, but when there's an opportunity, I'll give you a call. So when he learned of the news that we had resigned from Spark, we are going. He calls me, tells me, they told me you have jobs. I told him, you come on Monday. By 7:30, I told him we meet at 9. By 7:30, he was there with his camera. I told him we shall start like in a month's time. He told me, can you allow me to come every day here?
In 2018?
He came back after.
That's persistence. That's a virtue.
He came back after a year. 29. He came back in 2019. But even if you'd send him to do a story, he would come back with that story and with an extra story. You see the passion.
Yeah.
Whatever questions you give him, that maybe you ask this person, even if there are certain questions I may give, even me, I may fear to ask, but the boy will ask those questions.
Because he has a job to do.
He has a job to do.
Yeah.
That's the X factor.
I like that. And
the first time he was put on TV, I think it was 3rd June 2019. Because we had
Isn't
no,
that a pressure day? There's a lot of pressure around.
yes,
the
we had no
matters.
presenter there, but he had the camera person, and there was somebody with a live unit. We told him you're going to be live on Music Tax, and did a wonderful job, and the rest is now history.
Wow. So that brings up, when you say 2017, 2018, this is a guy who's showing up 7:30 every day. You've told him come back in a month. We have a culture of entitled creatives. So they come to you expecting the job has to be mine. I'm good. Have you had me? I can go anywhere on the internet, get followers. So how, bringing up the fact that, you know, there's a community of entitled creatives, there's a community of even uncultured creatives. So, you know, they don't take the creative industry seriously. They'll show up dressed smart.
To add on something, when I look back at that story, all the meetings I had with that boy, there was no money. He never talked about money. For him, it was just an opportunity to work. But money wasn't the factor. It was the opportunity.
The opportunity. So when we look at some of the things that are, you know, maybe holding back the industry of talent in general, whether you're a blogger, whether you're a musician, director, producer, what are those things we need to put in place for people to understand that this is a professional industry? You need to show up on time. You need to reply your emails on time. You need to have your phone, like just the basic things of running a business. How do we emphasize that in a creative industry?
That brings in two elements. First, the code of conduct of, first of all, the manager or the management company. That's personal and on a managerial level. But on a national level, it has to be a policy issue. Okay. Right now, the entertainment industry, we're under Ministry of Gender. We just had a department under culture, and the policy that has been guiding us is of 2006. Can you imagine? 2006. A policy is supposed to be reviewed every after 5 years. It's very good. I'm involved right now in activities that are geared to streamline the industry, and the policy is under review. For instance, when you go to countries where systems are developed, like in Africa, Nigeria, Kenya, and South Africa, it's a matter of policy. That for you to be in the entertainment industry, you must have a manager, a booking agent, or you're supposed to be signed to a what? A record label.
Or whether you own it,
whether you own it or it's something else. So those elements are going to come out in the policy. And then the other thing, the associations now have started coming up. Like for instance, managers, we have Utama, the musicians have UMA. So when we go back to our individual associations, we shall push for professional code of conduct. Because trust me, the last 10 years, the industry has just been Juakali. We've just been working in a Juakali situation, but we just wanted to be there and survive. But at least the future is bright. Establishments like this weren't here 10 years ago, but now they're coming up. Now you can come even and cast. We never used to do casting back in the day. We just call a friend and then, you know, let's appreciate the processes and we shall get there.
Okay, let's start with Peter.
Because you just talk about the bigger thing, the policy, but for me, on a personal level, for the artists, the talent managers, the directors, it is hard work and discipline.
Okay.
Because even if those things are in place, let me give you an example. There's Uganda Musician Association, but how many artists are there to it? Because they are not, some of them are not disciplined. And those indisciplined elements kill things even if they are structured. So maybe what these associations, even the National Culture Forum, should try to put up courses, refresher courses, even for these artists. Talk about discipline. Because even however much you are talented, and you don't have discipline. There are so many artists here in Uganda who are too talented, but in discipline. A person like Ziza Bafana is too talented, but where is he now? In 2016, maybe he was the biggest artist in terms of songs and airplay and streams, views. But 20-24 years down the road, the talent is still there, but his personal discipline has put him down.
I get that. Ivan?
As far as professionalism, me, I don't really mind too much when an artist is in discipline, because that's broad. The professionalism that needs to be encouraged, really encouraged in our industry, is with everybody else outside of the artist. The manager, the manager, the promoter, the talent agent, the producer, the songwriter, the engineer, the distributor. Once all those are in line, the artist will fall in line. It's as simple as that. Yeah, it's as simple as that. If all those elements are in line and they're doing what they're supposed to do, the artist will fall in line.
Sports, that's how it is. The other elements are the agents, the managers, the foofers, they're in line. You football Onyango, you go mess yourself up. You fall back in line by yourself. Yeah, true.
So you're talking about this.
Structures are there. Even
Yeah,
in
that's
sports.
what I was going to say. What happens when the structures are there, but the industry is still being abused? In your capacity as a talent manager,
What happens there is you get left behind and we move on to the next talent.
because you're the immediate contact of the artist.
Yeah, true.
Does that become your failure as well?
No,
No,
not at all.
it doesn't.
Not
It
at
doesn't.
all.
It doesn't.
That's because if you're doing what you're supposed to do, it's on them. And he brought up policy as well because it's very important. And in order to be able to effect policy, you need associations and organizations and societies. Because even those types of elements, if everybody's doing what they're supposed to do, the artist will always fall in line.
Fall in
All
line,
right.
true.
So I feel like we're about to run out of time, but there's a very crucial thing we need to talk about. You started off telling us about record labels, telling us about talent management and booking agents. So an act, talent, maybe radio producer or radio presenter comes before you and they say, I'm Emma, Ivan, Peter, help me. I want to boost my career. What are the key steps, or what are some of the first few steps that you advise them to take in order for them to get their career in line?
For instance, it depends. It depends on what level your talent is. I can give an example of, if you walk to me, I can either choose to say I'm going to manage you, I can either choose to say I'm going to either represent you as an agent on either none or exclusive basis.
Okay, what does that look like?
For instance, one of the biggest talent agents we have here is Talent Africa. It has people, though people are now saying he signed them. It's not signing. It's you're taking them on as an agent to get business for them on their behalf and you earn a commission of it.
Okay.
That's what a talent agent does. Talent agent or talent agency does. So for me, if someone walked to me like this, I can know which stage your career is or your talent is, and I can say, you know what, I'm going to sign you up or I'm going to take you up as an agent. Right now I'm doing talent booking for comedians, for MCs, for DJs, for musicians, on a non-exclusive basis, just because I've created a reputation in corporate companies, venue owners and promoters who can trust that, hey, if you book this artist through Emma Carlos and Twinkle Star Agency, you can get them on time and they can do what I want. And the musicians on talent on this side also know that Emma Carlos can get us business. So you're a middleman. That's the job of what? An agent.
Without signing them.
Without signing them. You can have, but the client has to make sure that these artists, you have representation for them.
Yeah.
It can be by consent, verbal, or by websites.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah, that's what a talent agency does. You seek talent seekers and talent bearers. You're in the middle, and then you join them.
Okay.
Yeah, true.
So what would you advise the person? Like, what would be the first key steps to take?
The vision has to align, and he brought up a point initially, like how you find them is key. Because because you have to sit down with someone, and I've personally made this mistake before.
Yeah.
Where I did not align properly with the artist.
You just search a chain.
I did not align in terms of like vision and overall timeline, so it can get tricky. So talent always needs to align vision-wise, and then also let me see. Knowing, sorry, I got the brain freeze.
It's okay, we can come back. So the first few steps you'd take.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Yes, talent needs to be able to look at Emma's, let me say, professional history.
Okay.
My professional history, his professional history. Because once you look into that, your answers, you'll have the answers to your questions. A lot of your, yeah.
So yes, Peter. I think now speak from the perception of like TV presenters. Like this is new management. These are people that are newly managed. Before it was what? Actors, musicians, sports. So from that regard, and in 2020, the space that we're in, what are the first few steps you take in managing, say a person like that comes to you, a TV presenter or maybe an online content creator?
First of all, here in Uganda, because a producer is a talent manager of presenters, but you don't own the TV. So you look for presenters when there's space. But you may be talented, but the kind of show we are looking, or the kind of presenter we are looking for, you don't fit. So I tell you the basics and where maybe the opportunities are. But when the opportunities there, I can even look for somebody whom I screen tested 2 years ago. I can give you a very good example. And it's a very good policy at national media, NTV, Spark, and KFM. When Natalia was going for maternity leave, that was 2017. We did screen tests of the new Remy, the current presenter of Livewire. She was good, but she didn't make it at that time. But when we left, they brought her on board. So you may come to me, but when the opportunity is not there. But when the time comes, I will look for you.
So I think also now from what you've spoken as talent, you need to be able to recognize your time, recognize what the manager can deliver for you and what they've delivered for other people in the past, and then also understand the industry that you're getting in. I like that. Now, when you do have a relationship, paint us a picture of what managers and talents can do to make that relationship work. Because you have a 5-year policy. I don't know if it's okay that I bring this up.
It's fine. Actually, naturally, that's why you see a standard managerial contract is between 3 to 5 years. Because we're human beings. By the time you reach the 3rd, 4th year, issues are rising up. That's why a standard contract stipulates between 3 to 5 so that you can either renew.
So now that 5-year policy, the reason I bring it up is because after 5 years, you have built a real relationship with this person. If you have managed to work with them 5 years, you've built their career, they've made you money, you have pushed them to
They've also made themselves money.
You've pushed them to a place where they won't want for anything else but to follow the path that you've set for them. So how do you ensure that that relationship works for the manager just as well as it works for the talent?
Like I said, standard contract stipulates between 3 to 5 years. So if you're comfortable and you're all still happy and the vibe is still there, you continue, you renew for another 5 years. If something is not working, you go back on the drawing board. It's not so mechanical. Talent management is a little bit flexible, given that we work in a very dynamic and complicated industry. So like Ivan has been saying, there are points where you need to really compromise just for the future. Regardless, it's going to brush your ego or bruise your ego or your reputation. It's talent management. The process is always on and it's like this, up and down. But it reaches a time when it's break point. It can either be the manager pulling out or the artist pulling out, depending on which side has been really, really hurt. But like I said before, stipulated 3 to 5 years. If you're still comfortable with each other, you continue.
I think what I'm looking for in that answer as well is when you're making the relationship work, who else do you add in that relationship? Like just a few things that you've taken time to make the relationship
There's
work.
one thing I had never experienced, but I experienced it on a job. Every musician has that one friend, sister, who they are very close to. And they're in the picture, trust me. Shiba has that one, Khalifa has it, I'm sure Winnie Nwaji has it. There's one person there, is either brother, a sister, or a deep friend. They can be close to. And in most cases, when you sit, your relationship with the artist is, the talent is on breaking point, not exactly breaking point, but not on talking terms, we normally go through them. Trust me. Am I lying, Ivan?
I like that.
Story. I had I presented someone an agreement, and so they did that. They took it to their friend that was studying law to review it. So there's always that close. There's always a close person who they listen to. So now you have two people in your ear. I advise artists or talents to always refrain from that. If you believe in management, believe in them and trust in them. if you're going back on the side to listen to someone else and come back to management, like you're going to get confused and you're going to waste time.
We're running out of time, so I'm going to give each person a couple of seconds just to make final remarks when it comes to talent management and even just working with artists. Like what do people need to have at their fingertips when it comes to talent management, especially in Uganda? Let's start with you, Peter.
For me, first of all, thank the opportunity of being able to be here. For time management and the artists to work and succeed, it must be passion, ambition. The rest is history.
For both.
For both.
I like it. Ivan?
I mean, for it to work, you just need to believe. Like, both sides need to be on the same page. It's literally as simple as that. On the same page, be dedicated, have the passion on both ends. There's nothing that can get in between that.
Yeah, true.
There's nothing.
Me, I'm going to bring in the business element of it. There's a block between 2000 and 2014 when the industry was very vibrant and commercially successful. It's going to come back because right now we're in transition from, taking it as a passion and taking it as a real serious business. Yeah, true. Now the streaming services are there, everything are there. One, if you're a manager out there, look for talent that will respect you. If you're a talent out there, look for a talent agency, talent manager, talent company, or individual talent who has reputation and experience. And then the magic is in between the five. You need to really work together. Let the talent do their job, let the manager do their job. These things on the internet. We are not like back in the 90s, 2000s, where they used to call us CD careers. Everything's on the internet. Just Google, know what you're supposed to be doing, what your manager is supposed to be doing, and you can move mountains. Trust me. The best combination.
I've taken away so much from this chat, and I think if anyone has not had anything, just at least share this with your friends. They will interpret because it's a very critical conversation. And this conversation is not going to end here. Continue it in the comments. We were live on both Net Studios, Africa Garage Group, and of course Film Hackers. And I encourage each and every person that's been watching, are you a performer, you're a musician, are you a filmmaker, whatever it is your talent is, it is important to recognize that there's people who are trained, people who are experienced in pushing your talent a lot further and actually making you align with your goals, your purpose, and the money you want to make. That's very important. So thank you so much for watching. Catch us again next Friday for another episode right here on Film Hackers. My name is Maritza. Peace out.